Well, hello there, humans, bees, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I'm Bushka on Blitz. Thank you so much for joining me here on channel today. If you're new to channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and buckle up for a whole lot of love, justice, and innuendo as we go sailing the 7 seas in the Type 59. Joining me on that journey will be Iron Man and Dagas, two blokes who had very nice games in the Type 59, which I watched, and they inspired me to go back and try it again just to see if it still worked. And first game out of the gate, yeah, I realised it still worked. It worked a treat. I've always had a soft spot in my heart, not least for the Type 59, but for all these kind of Russian monster armour Tier 8 mediums, or lightweights, as the case may be in the case of the T-54 lightweight. They have a very common kind of upper glacis and sleek profile, and they are very, very good at going hull down and jerking around and bouncing shots with good, solid tanking procedures like that. This thing particularly, though, stands out amongst the crowd because it's got a 7 degree of gun depression gun, which makes it a lot easier to manufacture those hull down shots in situations like this, where you can afford to actually get a little bit of elevation on the armor profile on the turret, which is already a strong turret, and that allows you to bounce even more shots and be more successful. And I know this because, man, I ran this thing with a mate of mine, Swiss Cheezel, who's been lost to like girlfriends and work and being a young 22-year-old bloke, and he now doesn't play much Blitz, but Swiss and I used to run this at an IS-6 to the tune of, I think I had 86%, 85% win rate in this tank on my Bushka account. So I've long understood the value of this vehicle and how criminally underappreciated it is because there are so many other good tanks at this tier. It also runs the 100mm gun. Now, stop me if you've heard this one, but the Type 59, the T-34 and 2, the T-44, the T-44-100, the T-54 first prototype, the T-54 lightweight, all run variants of this 100mm gun. You've got between 175 and 181mm a pen on your AP rounds, and you've got around about 2,000 to 2347 DPM, damage per minute. Or in the case of the T-34 and 2, 1995. You can run the same kind of gun. This is the only tank out of that lot that gets 7 degrees of gun depression apart from the T-44. But it's got a better turret than the T-34, and it's got a lot better credit earning potential. If you're looking for a tank that can brawl, can go hull down, can bounce shots, can role play a Tier 8 heavy in limited times, in limited appearances, this is your tank. And at the same time, if you want to earn money doing that, this is your tank. I just made 84,000 credits driving this tank. Did 3,471 damage, didn't have to fire much in the way of APCR, and made 84,000 credits. Like, there's a reason people drive these premium tanks that are good to grind credits. You see so many Drax, so many 3485 Rudies, so many Type 59s, so many Helsings, so many IS-5s, so many, these are the tanks that you can earn money with at the same time as dominating on the battlefield. So let's watch some of the boys put it through its paces. Now, before we go any further, I want to point out, this is not a video saying you should buy the Type 59. If you are looking for a premium credit grind tank that's a medium, not the heavy playstyle, then that's why I make videos like this. The 54 Mod 1 is probably going to be a better tank for the novice player. It's not that the 59 is incredibly difficult, it's just the 54 Mod 1 is stupidly easy. You drive it out, you slightly angle it, and you press the button. Hell, if you don't want to slightly angle, you can just press the button and you'll bounce a lot of shots. The 54 Mod 1 is basically a Tier 8 heavy tank, okay, masquerading as a medium. So if you want to earn money and drive a tank that's OP, the 54 Mod 1 is probably a better one. If you were going to play a tank in tournaments, well, I'd probably take the 59 because the 59 is a little bit more mobile, has much better hull down potential because it can actually get shots with 7 degrees of gun depression, and is just overall a better choice for a better player. But that doesn't mean that it's going to work the same for everyone. Now, Iron Man is in the perfect spot for a Type 59. He is on top of a hill, on mines. He's able to go side on and work these beautiful angles. He's able to get gun depression to shoot down, and he's got 181 millimeters of AP pen, which when you're firing down onto targets that are slightly below you, actually becomes more in line with, say, 190, 195 millimeters of pen. Because a lot of the armor profiles that he's shooting at here are reliant upon even surfaces to work. If you're shooting down at, say, an IS-3 or an IS-6 or a KV-1, you can get a lot of mileage. Now, Mines is renowned for these kind of tanks. 59s, 54s, T-54s, T-62As, Object 140s. They love this area here when tanks are coming up into them because they can set the angle. You're going to see Iron Man set this angle again and again and again, about 30 degrees to his target. And he's going to just roll out, get that shot and pop back. And not there, obviously, but there, that angle right there. That makes a really, really, really steep upper glacis that's very hard to pen. It's not about the thickness of the armor, it's about the armor angle. It's an awkward armor angle. And as he fires down into the top of IS-6s, as they're below him, you're going to see the IS-6's armor is going to go from red to clear quite often because it's easy to pen the IS-6's armor because it's not, again, about the thickness of the IS-6's armor, it's about the angle of the armor. And he does a very, very good job there of baiting that IS-3 out. He's just waiting to see whether he pops around or up. He's really keeping his head on a swivel. I like this about the young man. He's a very, very successful game player. That IS-3 defender does not have the gun depression to put shots in down here at all. He's 2-on-2. He's really playing a very canny game of soldiers here. Tough tank that to pen. The average pen he's going to need to get through that frontal armor on the IS-3 defender is 193. I know because I've looked at it bloody well often enough when talking through tournaments and the toughest tanks at tier 8 and all that kind of thing. So he's going to have to fire APCR. There's no two ways around it. He's got two things going for him. One, he's much better hull down here and below the gun. Excuse me. And two, he's a lot more mobile than that IS-3 defender. So if you can catch him on a reload like that or stay in close and side scrape and side hug, he will actually do a lot of good. But he's going to run out of APCR if he doesn't hit all his shots. You can see there, that's good, 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 good. He's got 5 rounds left. He's got plenty of rounds. He's got about... he's going to get him on a reload here. Oh, he's got him, he's got him, he's got him. Now, he does about 4,500 damage in this game. But what I really liked about it was the way he showcased the tank's armor profile. He constantly adjusted his angles and he put it in a position to be super successful on top of that ridge. Now, I don't have his results screen, so you're going to have to just believe me on that one. Here we go to Alpenstadt and my mate Dagus, the big D, the D-Dog, the D-Daddy. Let's rock and roll on Alpenstadt. Now, he's going to be pretty aggressive here. I do like that camo scheme too. Looks very, very swish. Screaming around to the southern flank and pushing into the eastern corner. Now, all these games have one thing in common. Both my game at the start, the second game you saw, and this game from the Big D are going to feature the angles of the Type 59. Another reason it's great to buy a Type 59 or one of these premium tanks that has this kind of armor profile and the Tier 8 100mm gun is it gets you in the right kind of mind frame for driving all these tanks and all their variants. If you can drive a Type 59, you can drive a T-54. If you can drive a T-54, you can drive a T-62A or an Object 140 or a WZ-121 or a T-34-1 or a T-54 lightweight or a T-54 mod 1 or a T-44 or a T-44-100. These are all tanks that feature that same low profile, very, very steep upper glacis, relatively strong turret, and peek-a-boom playstyle. And it's those kind of commonalities that can allow you to drive up entire lines and have a very synced up playstyle across a whole raft of tanks. So it's for that reason that I would strongly recommend driving one of these tanks, whether it's a premium tank or a tech tree tank, so that you can figure out exactly how they work. it will make it a lot easier not only to play these kind of guys, but to play against these kind of tanks. And you can see this is great play. He's using that bridge there to keep his lower glaciers hidden, and as soon as he's spotted, he pulls back. He's just worried about that KV3. There you go. Or pulls into cover, rather, not pulls back into cover. Ducking back, it's going to get a shot in the Comet. Nice, the Comet's not paying attention. There's another tank coming around there, a Tiger P. He angles up again. Look at those angles. Works his angles straight away into his 30-degree angle. He's moving backwards and forwards. He's got 7 degrees of gun depression, so he can afford to work this little ridge here. Anyone that wants to pen him is going to have to get up to about 200 millimeters a pen and be very, very lucky if they're not firing APCR to get through. Given the targets in front of him, that's going to be a tougher job for them than it is for him. He's overlooking that Borsig down there, and he's overlooking the back of this Tiger P, and he's just putting an absolute buttload of damage in. This is a really good drive. There's him and a Borsig left. Massive numbers against him, 2 versus 5, but he's got a full hit point pool, and he's in a really strong spot. He's now moved all the way back. This is a gorgeous drive. He is so far back now that everyone in front of him is a silhouette. Why is that important? Well, it means that he wasn't spotted, and that let him get that extra shot in on the RU-251. If you are silhouetted when you take that shot, the rules of camo are very, very different. You don't get spotted unless they're absolutely right up in your face. Now, the angles are going to be important here again. Gets a good bounce there, keeps his angles to the RU and that AMX. Look at him driving this one like an absolute boss. This is a brilliant drive. I love this. When I saw it, I thought, I got to go and drive my Type 59 again. Gets another bounce. Keeps his angles again. Going around that corner. Constantly keeping the angles. And then face hugging. And getting the low hit point tank. Doesn't fall in love with hitting that RU-251. You have to take some damage at some point. But he's mitigating a lot of it. And he's getting through the low hit point targets. Again, angles up to that RU. Now he's in a bit of strife because the last 2 targets are here, and that AT has all the pen that he needs to get through him. So he keeps the RU between him and the AT, drives around. He just needs one more good bounce, and he gets it. Super tough times now, though, because that AT wants to take him frontally. Look at this. Clutch! Carry or kick, baby. Just got the perfect angle here. Come on, make it happen. No heartbreak. No heartbreak. You can do it. Take your time. You've got the time. Bang. Massive. Dargas. That was a great drive. 5,113 damage. 68,000 credits. Kolobanov. Steel Wall. Pools Medal. High Caliber. Top Gun. Mastery. Spartan. Everything. Like, that was an absolutely monster game in a monster tank. If you can get those angles right, if you can learn to work little ridges, and if you can face hug, you're going to make a lot of love out of a very lovely little number. Until next time, boys and girls, please like, subscribe, follow me, watch the streams, turn up to Tank Fest. I'm going to be at Tank Fest. Come and say hello, and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.